So the first part is about how the actuarial teams are actually changing. So one of the challenge we've seen is that there is an increasing volume and complexity of actuarial work. So there are increasing regulatory requirements. So some countries implement RBC, some countries implement a new revised RBC2. So all these are additional regulatory requirements. Reporting requirements, we have heard about all the IFRS 17 and 18, and then also the IFRS S1 and S2. And at the same time, the market is also changing. Customers are becoming more sophisticated, so there are more demands in terms of new products, as well as more sophisticated, complex products that can meet the customers' needs, as well as help to deal with rising in healthcare costs, uncertainty in the investment conditions. So all these things make the work in terms of the absolute amount of work, as well as the complexity of the work, a lot more. At the same time, what we are seeing is that there's a growth and diversity of actuarial teams. So there are more and more specialized types of skills. Previously, they actually have to do product pricing, reporting, everything in one. But now we have data teams, we have modeling teams, we have reinsurance teams. And then actuaries also go and do some strategy work, some risk management work. So all these specialized skills are required because the work is becoming more complex, and because of this, actually teams are starting to separate, so that there is no longer like one product pricing team. So maybe there are 5 product pricing team, one for agency, one for bank assurance, one for group, and then one to maintain the pricing templates and spreadsheets. So all these things are required, and one to do the system user acceptance tests. So because of this, the actuaries become more specialized, and there are more things to do. And when this happens, it becomes very difficult to manage quality across the team, consistency across all the work and all the team members, because previously maybe a large actuarial team is like 20-30 people. Now at large actuarial team can be like 50 to 100 people, and when there are more and more people involved, more and more processes involved, it may become harder to trace the process, and also communication become difficult without a suitable structure to deal with this increased complexity. So what happens is that previously when the company hires an actuary, the company expects the actuary to do everything, because the actuary is guided by the professional codes of conduct, and then the actuary is expected to do the work with the certain level of professional responsibility. So, however, all these professional codes of conduct apply to individual actuaries. They don't necessarily apply to a large team of actuaries, and it's difficult because these professional codes of conduct, they are high level in nature. So the objective is that one simple code of conduct, and it can apply universally. So for example, in the code of conduct, we will talk about integrity, but it's very difficult to monitor, to check that the actually acted with integrity. So when the actuarial team scales up, there are a lot of challenges and limitations that arise. So the professional conduct is not directly related to the organizational responsibility. It's very hard for the company to hold the actuary and all the work accountable just because of the professional code of conduct, because it's very high level in nature. And the code of conduct also don't make us do the work consistently, so there'll be inconsistent process. It becomes hard to train new team members, and the team will become dependent on a few senior actuaries, because it's very hard to have a standardized process. So all these things increase risk of errors, lead to inconsistent work, as well as the knowledge gap. So increasingly, what actuarial team leaders actually need is a firm level accountability. So the accountability must be from the company, not only from the individual. There must be clear processes. So if two different actually runs the process differently, it is still okay from the professional conduct perspective, but it may not be okay in terms of efficiency perspective. It may not be okay in terms of the consistency perspective. So we also need clear training and competency pathway so that the team will grow. There must be a clear review structure, as well as some softer things like the work culture and the speaking up environment. And also all these things is to give the assurance to the regulators and the auditors. So what an actual team leader need in all these points that we cover is actually a quality framework rather than just only relying on the professional code of conduct. Because a professional code of conduct put all the burden on the actuary, whereas a quality framework is from the company. So a company cannot just hire an actuary and expect everything to be fine. The company also need to put together the correct structure. So examples of quality frameworks is like ISO 9001 is like quality management by improving performance, meet customer expectation, and demonstrate the commitment to quality. So we have this qualification, and also some insurance companies like Allianz and AXA, in some of their subsidiaries, they actually apply this. Similarly, for the IFoA QA Quality Assurance Scheme, so it's an outcome-based framework to encourage culture of continuous improvement. So this is something that we applied for 6 years ago, and companies like AIA also have this. Total quality management is another example of a framework which focus on quality improvement, long-term success through customer satisfaction and customer focus. So companies like Toyota, Honda, and many Japanese companies use this total quality management. And Sarbanes-Oxley is an internal control for financial reporting for US public listed companies. So the large American insurers will actually have this. So the objective of having this quality framework is to have a structure, a way to actually deliver the work quality. So in the next slide, what I will share with you is how we actually benefit from all these quality frameworks that we have. So the first quality framework that we had is this quality assurance scheme by the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries. It provides an organization with an outcome-based framework to proactively encourage a culture of continuous improvement. So what is important is that it must be outcome-based and also proactive, encourage a culture of continuous improvement rather than put together just a set of rules. So the stakeholders, there are three main ones. So firstly is the company, and then second is the member, which is all the team members. So this quality framework is not limited only to the actuary or to the member of the IFoA, it's for everyone. And the user refer to our clients, include regulator, auditors, all these people that relies on our work, all the stakeholders. So when the framework covers the relationship between the company, the team, and as well as all the users of our work, it makes sure that we can deliver the quality work. So why do we want to adopt this quality assurance scheme? We formalize the responsibility of the organization, not just the member. So quality responsibility actually starts from the organization. The organization must set out what are the expectations, and then ensure that policy and procedures are clear, communicated, understood, and promote remedy of deficiency. And also to provide the structure for regular monitoring and supervision. Make sure that we have the effective policies and procedures and how to identify and act on improvements. So the reason why actuarial teams adopt quality assurance scheme is because it can provide these type of benefits. And the intended outcome is actually there are three groups. The first one is professionalism. So professionalism is about supporting members in meeting professional responsibilities. So this include conflict of interest, ensuring supervision of work. That means all the work done by the junior, there's someone to supervise, ensure that it complies with the relevant requirements, for example, regulations, And then also the work review is work review. So review and supervise is different. Supervise is more like a check and make sure the work is done. Review is for someone to look at the work from a higher level perspective. So all this is part of the professionalism requirements to ensure high quality of work. This is quite difficult to tell people, hey, you need to act professionally. And this is a very big statement, right? So we need to break this down into small parts, and each of these is clear, and we can monitor the process and the improvement. Then the next outcome that requires the development and training is to ensure that the team members are able to do their current work and also the continue to develop and learn so that they will be able to take on more difficult, complex work in the future. All this includes ensuring CPD and all the competency development met. New team members are properly onboarded. So all these outcomes need to be achieved. And the last one is organizational culture. So QAS requires that there's a positive culture and working environment. People will speak up. And there's also some focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And also the appropriate relationship with the users, with the users of our work. Make sure the people reading our work, using our work, actually understand what we are doing. So these three outcomes, professionalism, development, and training, and organizational culture, is what this QAS framework expects to achieve. And for ISO 9001 is a globally recognized standard for quality management. So the QAS is only for actuarial teams, whereas the ISO is for all types of companies, all types of organizations. The objective here is to improve performance, meet customer expectation, and demonstrate a commitment to the quality. So it's a requirement on how we actually establish, implement, maintain, and improve our quality management system. So what does it mean? It means that the company has to put in place effective processes and train staff to deliver flawless products or service time after time. So there must be an effective process, and there must be the suitable people to deliver a flawless product and service. Not necessary that the execution will be perfect, but we must have the process and we must have the people. So how is this useful for actuarial teams? What it does is that it ensures that we have a robust quality control process. This leads to the stakeholders, especially the customers' trust and satisfaction. At the same time, we want to eliminate all these inefficiency waste and make sure that we are streamlined and promote this informed decision making, because we have all this, when we monitor and we have all this process, we have all the information. The objective is to lead to repeatability and consistency on how work is done across different people. So we want to be able to deliver the same work over and over again. And then there's a regular audits and review to ensure that the quality management system and all these processes are continuously refined so that the processes will become better over time. So ISO 9001 has 7 principles. It starts from customer focus. So the customer is the user of our work. We need to make sure that we meet the requirements. So the customer not only can be the regulator, can be the auditor, can be our clients, for example, can be the salespeople that will sell the product that we develop, can be the CFO that will use the numbers that we produce into the financial reports. Then after that, the next one is leadership. So leadership need to establish this purpose and direction, and it's important that the people are engaged. Then the next part is actually the process approach. So it cannot be something that's very ad hoc. It has to be a process so that it's consistent and predictable, and there needs to be a regular improvement, and decision making need to be based on the evidence. So all the decisions that are made need to be based on analysis and data and information that's available instead of some very random type of decision making. And the last one is the relationship management. So need to manage all the relationship with all the interested parties. Okay, so how do we actually take away something from these quality frameworks? So actually, these the quality frameworks are quite comprehensive, and if you implement the quality framework, you'll be able to have a consistent and significant process across all the work that you do. However, to implement a quality framework from start to finish, actually, it also takes quite a long time. So actually, one of the suggestions that we do is that we actually want to understand what is the current challenge. So just now I mentioned many different aspects of quality. So where do quality issue actually most commonly arise? So this is something that we want to find out. We don't actually want to start from implementing the whole framework and making sure that the whole quality process is completed. But we can start by asking ourselves this question, right? Where is our current problem? Is it because are the review process clear and consistent? Do we have the documentation and audit trail? And when we have a new team member, are they onboarded effectively? So what are the existing challenge? So from here, we can actually select suitable quality framework or select suitable parts from a quality framework and try to match this to the current challenge. And in this way, the framework is actually quite helpful, right? Because it becomes a tool and not a compliance exercise. Once we have done this, we can compare the existing practices that we have against the framework expectation, identify what is working well and where are the gaps, and try to prioritize this based on the risk and the impact. And from here, we can actually select a part of the quality framework that we want to implement or we want to use it to improve. So we can implement a proportionate improvement, right? That is practical and also proportionate to the team size and complexity. After the implementation, it's important that we actually monitor the situation. So if we use like internal audit, peer reviews, and feedback, right, to assess whether the framework is improving the quality and consistency. So we must always review all these issues and incidents and analyze the root cause and adapt as the work evolves. So if we do this, then we're actually able to address some of the more pressing challenge that we currently have. Then the next part I want to share is actually what happened before and after the implementation of this quality framework. So this one I mentioned for QAS, there are three outcomes. One of them is professionalism. So what I'm sharing on the screen is actually the summary finding of the external review from the QAS external reviewer. So what we already had in place before we implemented the QAS is a standardized spreadsheet templates and tools, centralized filing system, collaborative working tools. Make sure that all actual work involve at least two people, so there is a supervision, and there's a documented peer review policy, and general awareness of professional standards and conflict of interest. So these were the things we already had in place, but then after the implementation of this QAS, right, we also introduced a formal independent peer review list. This is to mention what are the work that require independent peer review and which one doesn't. We update our professional standards policy, and also we have this annual appointed actuary disclosure to deal with the conflict of interest. So that our clients know that we are appointed actuary for multiple companies at the same time. So what all these things does is that it lead to the more consistent work, improve transparency, and independence, as well as increased confidence from the stakeholders. Then the next outcome is about development training. So previously we already had a study support. Our team comply with CPD. There are internal and external trainings available, and then also onboarding and coaching. So what we introduce is a team member self-evaluation framework. So to as a structured way to evaluate the team members' performance every 6 months, and then also there's a self-attestation on the professional responsibility. So to confirm that our team actually meet the CPD requirements. So with this, the personal development discussions are become more structured and everyone complies with the professional requirements. And the last QS outcome is actually the organizational culture.
Sorry.
So previous the objective here is to foster a positive culture and working environment. So before the QS, we already had training and a team member feedback channel. What we introduce after is we introduce a speaking up policies so that it is clear in our company policy that team members should speak up when they face challenges. And then also these case studies where we have the training every twice a year to ensure that we continue to build the culture of speaking up. This helps actually to increase the awareness and confidence to raise issues, stronger ethical and professional culture, and also reduce risk of unresolved issues where people just leave the issue there and don't speak up so much. In terms of the ISO, what we have introduced is that because one of the things is that ISO requires a leadership commitment. So we set up a formal quality policy and communicate this to all team members. This leads to the shared understanding of what quality means and show a clear commitment, improve accountability and consistency. Then the next part is the customer focus. So we standardize the team reporting templates, project planning templates, and the documentation across the project. So this one improves the visibility of the project progress, easier supervision, resource planning, and also allow us to meet the customer's need more consistently. A little bit related to this is actually the documented information. This one is to more focus on the process and document, of course, eventually also lead to the customer satisfaction. So we formalize the version control, and also we have these end-to-end process flow charts drawn up for onboarding, for team member self-evaluation, and the project workflows. We need to reduce the ambiguity of how work is done, and when new team member join us, they can onboard more effectively. Then the last one is the risk management and continuous improvement. So because of the ISO 9001, we have a structured internal audit and a regular review of process and compliance with the process, including all these corrective action implementation and tracking. So one of the benefit is issues will be identified earlier and addressed in a more systematical way. Also embedding a culture of continuous improvement into the organization. So this is my last slide, then we can have a Q&A. So quality frameworks do not replace the individual professionalism requirements. So as actuaries, we still have to follow our core of conduct and act professionally, but with a quality framework, basically there's a support from the organization to help us do our work better. It actually replaces active management rather than the actually have to actively manage a team. It actually better with the structured policies, processes, and procedures. And also most teams already have good practices and quality. The quality framework actually help to formalize all these good practice and strengthen the good practice. Okay, thank you everyone. This is the end of my sharing today. I'm now open to the Q&A. Do we have any questions from the floor?
Hi, Nicholas. Can you hear? Just one
Hi, can
question.
we?
So, when your organization applied for the QAS accreditation from the IFoA, right, was that a lengthy and difficult process? Would you mind sharing some of the pain points so that in case any of us want to do that, we could get some insights?
Sure. So actually, the IFoA approached us to introduce to us that there is such a framework and to let us know what are the benefits. So then we were interested. So then they gave us a form to fill up, and in this form, they actually asked us to send in all our policies, process, procedures. So all these are things that we already have. So we just send them all this to them as it is. So they have a few people to assess and review what we are doing. They flew in someone from the UK to our office for about a week to go through all this with us. And I think a month later, there was a final review document from them to say that these are the things that you are currently doing is fine. There are a few things that we would like you to explicitly implement, for example, like a speaking up policy, which we did. So then after that, after we followed what they required, uh, then this thing is sent to the QAS board for the formal endorsement. I would say the whole process took around 6 months, although maybe the active work from our team uh, is maybe within a month.
Hmm.
And
Course, I-
every year they will send us the forms. This will be repeated again and again.
hmm. Course, I'm at the IFoA site and I'm seeing that who can apply for accreditation? It can be an organization or an identifiable part of an organization. Because I'm just thinking that if it's for like multinational conglomerates, right, it might be a bit more difficult to get this done, or I'm not really sure where that value would lie. Simply because you might have different parts, different actual departments that may have different processes, and uh, not really sure whether that's going to make things easier or more difficult to do. Maybe in your case, I guess because Actomate is like a singular unit, I would say. Would you think that that makes the QAS application process easier or more difficult, like compared to if a larger organization would try to do it?
I think it's easier for us to do that, but based on my knowledge, AIA only a few of their actual departments are accredited, and the rest are
Ah,
not.
I see.
So
Okay.
so you don't it does not require the whole company to be
Mm,
accredited.
okay. And is it a few for AIA's case, right? Is it a case that a few departments, or is it like selected markets or selected entities? Is it the entire entity, or is it just one entity's specific department, for example?
It's specific to the actual department, and I think Thailand and Malaysia also has this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Interesting to know. No further questions from me.
Okay, we are past our time for the webinar already. So thank you everyone. If you have any question, you can feel free to contact us later.
Thanks, Nicholas.